Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, there was some news that hit the media that was very concerning a singer by the name of Kehlani, which is who you see on the left, and her ex-boyfriend or ex-partner. I'm not sure what kind of relationship they had going on, but he's also the father of her daughter by the name of Javaughn. Allegedly, this young man who's on the right that you see is either bisexual or gay. I can't remember. I don't know which one it really is. I'm just a little bit confused when women started having babies with bisexual and gay individuals. You'll have to excuse me. I'm very old school. That never made sense to me. I've said before on this channel, I am a firm believer and supporter of relationships, married relationships, godly married relationships that have God at the head and the center of them. I keep saying this all the time. If these people would do relationships the way God said do them, a lot of these problems that they're having, they would not be having. Point blank, period. Anyways, this young man made some very concerning allegations about the mother of his child. To put it all in a nutshell and summarize it all, he was making allegations that not only was she in a sex cult, the individuals and the leaders of which had a lot of control over her life, what she does, decisions she's making, but also that they were making decisions concerning his daughter that did not involve him, and they were doing inappropriate things concerning his daughter under the disguise, if you will, of spirituality and religion, allegedly. Now, he did go into detail because some people will just say, oh, that's just a bunch of word salad, so to speak. But he did go into detail. One of the things he was alleging and claiming was that essentially, I guess in an urban way of describing it, they tried to ice him out, so to speak, as the father. He alleged these people, the leader of this cult, this alleged cult, y'all know I had to say alleged, got into her head and convinced her that he was not safe for her child to be around, to keep him from seeing his child. And I quote, for example, the cult leader who goes by the name of Neto responded that he had a vision that I was a danger to our daughter and would kill her, and thereafter banned responded from allowing me to see Adea. Based on this vision by her cult leader, responded prevented me from seeing our daughter for months, end quote. Now, the respondent is Kehlani. Adea is their daughter. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't like playing these little games, or when people play these little games where they try to keep one parent from having the child. Both parents help make the child. Yes, we understand the mother birthed her, but again, it takes a sperm and an egg. Can't make a baby without sperm. So the father deserves just as much involvement in the child's life as the mother, unless he's being abusive or he's unfit. And the same thing goes for the mother. If she's unfit or abusive, then the child needs to be with either the father or somebody who is going to properly raise, take care of, and care for the child. I've mentioned before that we need to have a relationship with God, Yeshua, the Most High. Obviously, this little cult that she's gotten herself into, allegedly, has nothing to do with the one and only true and living God, clearly. So, of course, that's a cause for concern. People love to talk about inclusion and, like I said, including all these other different religions, if you will. We need to take that and put that right back in the trash where it came from, because it's a trash mentality. You can bet your bottom dollar if God is not the center of it, Yeshua, it's from the devil, it's demonic. And it's all fun and games and dabbling in these different religions that have nothing safe to do with them, nothing good. They're all demonic, they're witchcraft. It's all fun and games until your life starts falling apart, until stuff starts happening and you can't explain why, because there's a spiritual aspect that you are playing with. You do not have the power to deal with now on your own. Once you get into that stuff, once you start, like I said, dabbling in witchcraft and demonic forces, understand something. There are things you won't be able to undo. Only with God's help will you be able to fix it. But most people don't get to that part. They don't understand that part, which is part of the reason why my channel exists. I try to warn people about the potholes in the road before they hit them. Now, if they still want to hit them, that's on them. That's between them and God. They got to work that out for themselves. I can only lead a horse to water, so to speak. I cannot make them drink. What am I saying? I can only warn people about the mistakes that they are heading for before they make them. But once they make them, they've got to be accountable for making them. And if they decide to do it, there's nothing I can do to stop it, so to speak. Anyways, it is not right for her to allegedly allow these people to convince her that he's evil and that she can't trust him with their daughter. Before anybody says, oh, well, what if he couldn't be trusted, with the baby? Well, allegedly, while she was on tour, guess who was keeping the baby? Allegedly, it was him. And I quote, in the past, he claims he would watch his daughter while Kehlani was on tour, but ever since this vision, Adea is left with other members of this so-called cult, including Neto instead. End quote. And before anybody says, despite what I said earlier about the guy, the leader by the name of Neto, allegedly being one of the main people putting these ideas about him in her head, before anybody says, oh, what's wrong with him watching the baby? And I quote, YoungWhite, Javaughn, also alleges that the cult leader has numerous accusations of committing sexual assault against women and young girls, end quote. And again, before anybody says, oh, well, it's just allegations, I'm going to keep making this analogy throughout these kind of little situations. See, they said the same thing about R. Kelly. Oh, that's just allegations. That's just the industry trying to bring him down. And then we come to find out the ninja was over here pissing on 14-year-olds. I said before, he should have been thrown under the prison for that. But I use that analogy to show people that, no, it's not always just rumors and allegations. Where there's smoke, once again, there's fire. Again, we can sit up and say allegations, this, rumors, that, but I don't blame him for not trusting his daughter with this guy. One, because of said allegations and rumors, and two, because he don't know that man. Why in the world would he trust his daughter with a guy that he don't even know like that? Now, in a petition that this young man filed, he also stated, and I also have to say he claimed, made the allegation that, and I quote, Neto performs religious ceremonies on Adea, but no one is allowed to be in the room when he is performing these ceremonies, end quote. Also, according to Javaughn, what he was putting in these filings, and he was alleging, and I quote, a separate female member of the group is also allowed to take baths with the girl while being under the influence of psychedelic drugs, end quote. Like I said, we can dispute allegations all we want to, but with that kind of allegation, again, who in their right mind would want their daughter anywhere near these people? I know I wouldn't. And this is, again, how I know that this is all ungodly mess. Why are you taking a bath with a 5-year-old while being under the influence of psychedelic drugs? That is a literal gateway into the spiritual realm in a very demonic way. In our generation, in our society, our community, unfortunately, people love to take up for drug use. They love to take up for recreational drug use. But what people need to understand and grasp and learn from is that using drugs is a way to tap into the spiritual realm in a very bad way. Again, you are opening yourself up and making yourself very vulnerable to attacks from the devil, from demons, when you do these things. People love to say, oh, well, I smoked so many times, I got high so many times, nothing happened to me. Oh, something did happen, but you were just too spiritually unaware, blind, and dead in order to tell it was happening. Now, this young man is claiming that he did bring this up to her, like he wasn't just going to social media first. He's claiming that he did tell her about this, how concerned he was, how he was uncomfortable, how he did not like it. And he alleged that she did not consider his feelings, his concerns. And I quote, instead of addressing my feelings, she resorts to disparaging me online to her millions of social media followers, end quote. And this is why, once again, I've said this 1,000 times, but I'm going to keep saying it because I believe it's going to help somebody at some point in time. You must be careful who you choose to lay down with, who you choose to sleep with, marry, and have a child by. Because if this person is not fit, if they are dealing with things that they should not be, if they're involved with people they should not be, that is going to directly affect your child. When you have a child, it's no longer about you and that person. It's about what's best for that child, how y'all are raising that child. And unfortunately, the child might be suffering now because he made a bad decision. I'm not saying that this is all his fault or that he deserves it. I would never say something like that. for anybody who wants to twist my words. I'm saying when we're not careful with who we lay down with, when we're not intentional and wise, these are the situations we unfortunately find ourselves in. Once again, it is not his fault that she chose to get involved with those people, and now their child is in a concerning situation because of it. Now, allegedly, he was fighting to get custody of his daughter. Again, I don't blame him for it because I'd rather her be with him than in that other situation. Although, unfortunately, he had to request that the court establish paternity with him being the father, as this article states, because the mother of his child, Kehlani, had an unconventional birth and did not put his name on the child's birth certificate. Allegedly, she had a home birth. That in and of itself was concerning. Now, she may have had a midwife or a nurse or something like that, but once again, a birth outside of what everybody knows, like I said, is conventional or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that, like, if a woman wants to have a home birth, that she shouldn't do it, but she should be surrounded by people she could trust, the father of her child, nurses, a midwife. According to him, that was not the case, or at least he wasn't there from what I can understand he's trying to say. And as a result, his name was not put on the birth certificate. The fact that she would even let that slide was raggedy. I told y'all before, what it seems like to me is they're trying to ice him out so that they could make decisions concerning that baby that don't involve him. And once again, I am completely against that. I stand for godly marriage, godly relationships, and the involvement of the mother and the father. Like I said, unless one or both of them are unfit, which it doesn't seem like he's unfit. Seems like he wants to be involved with the child's life. He wants to take care of her. He's concerned about her well-being. So this is the problem I have with them. Why are they trying to push him out, keep him from being involved? And here's my issue once again for people who don't see anything wrong with this, or don't see anything wrong with what she's doing with these people. If it's not wrong, then why are they trying to prevent him from being involved? Why do they not want him there? Why do they not want him involved in the child's life? Like I said, if what they're trying to do with this child is not wrong, then it shouldn't be hidden. It shouldn't be kept from the people that are the most important, which are both of the child's parents. Like I said, what it sounds like to me is they're trying to boot him out to do something that they have no business doing. That's just what it sounds like to me. Now, allegedly, after he had put this out there, allegedly, he came back and essentially backpedaled. I guess tried to recant, if you will, what he said about Kehlani and this alleged cult that she was involved in. Allegedly, even she was making videos where she kind of was like trying to, I feel like, gaslight people. Because I know I saw a video of her talking about she was a part of this religion that she thought was so beautiful. Now, all of a sudden, she's trying to compare it to other people's religion. There was even one part where she was on a podcast and she had the audacity to fix her mouth to say, oh, it's no different than like Christians praying to Jesus. Because another thing she does allegedly is pray to her deceased relatives. I can't even begin to explain how disgusted and quite befuddled, actually, in my mind I was when I heard her say those words. No, us praying to Jesus is not the same as you praying to your deceased relatives. The Bible says that the dead don't speak. You're not praying to your deceased relatives. You're praying to spirits who are under the guise, if you will, of your deceased relatives. Evil spirits use trauma, death, pain, all kinds of vices as an open door to mess with people. Just in case anybody didn't know that, by the way. It's not the same, like I said before. And once again, these people are deceased. They are no longer, respectfully, they are gone. Jesus rose on the third day. I would rather pray to somebody who has the power to raise people from the dead, who got up on the third day, than pray to somebody who can't hear me. And it really disgusted me, like I said, how she tried to compare the two and the attitude that she had when she said it. It's almost like she was low-key offended that she was being called out, probably by so many Christians. That's probably why she said that. She was probably speaking out of her offense. But her and that offense can go somewhere because we know the truth. She ain't fooling anybody. Anyways, as I said before, if I have all the details correct, after he called her out on this and put this information out there, she tried to fix it to where he could not get custody of his daughter, which she kind of already had it set in place with that birth certificate thing that they had going on, that situation, allegedly. And then after that, as I said before, he kind of backpedaled. He basically tried to call out TMZ, alleging that they falsely blew up the information, so to speak, that they blew all of what he said out of proportion, put false information out there. And I'm trying to understand, okay, did you say it or did you not say it? All the stuff where they said you filed this, you petitioned that, you went to the courts this, in quotation marks, your words that, was it you or was it not you? Because what it seems like now is that he's trying to go back on what he said because they're probably threatening him, allegedly, possibly. We don't know. This is speculation, my opinion. With him not being able to see that child at all because of what he said about them in retaliation. People and groups have done stuff like this before. There's a certain other group that ends with alleges that y'all should know about that also allegedly does stuff like this. You speak out about them, you get punished by them. And that's what it seems like to me, because I believe everything that he said when he initially called these people out. But like I said, he wants the chance to possibly be able to at least see his daughter again. So he's going to do whatever he feels like he has to do, allegedly, like I said, my speculation and opinion, to keep them from retaliating against him and making it to where he might not ever be able to see his daughter again, which is really sad. Again, people need to open their eyes when it comes to these celebrities. They are involved in very dark forces with very dark people, demonic forces. These are the kind of things that they do. This also is an eye-opener for people, regular Janes and Joes, who might happen to get the chance to be involved with somebody that's high up in the industry, has a lot of money, is involved with these kind of people and things and situations. It's all fun and games in being involved with these people until you are now stuck in one of these situations. That's something else that people need to be mindful of. I'm not saying like, if they're rich and famous, don't date them because they're probably crazy or involved with something crazy. I'm saying be mindful. Once again, these people who are high up in the industry, this is the kind of stuff that they involve themselves in, their children in, their partners in, if they're willing to be involved. These are things people got to think about, once again, before they involve themselves romantically with somebody, lay down with somebody, have a child with somebody. This situation reminds me of that one particular rapper, artist, young lady from back in the day. For some reason, I cannot remember her name. I don't know why, but I talked about it on this channel where she had actually gotten involved with a guy who his particular race, if you will, that's not really the right term to describe it, but we're going to go with it, rhymes with Pewish. He was also like a millionaire. Her fans felt betrayed and said that she should not have been with him because he was the literal epitome of what she rapped against, what she stood against, but she did anyways. Apparently they fell out about some stuff, some things he wanted to do. He was real connected in the industry and again, iced her out of what she had going on with her own son. Imagine that, you giving birth to a child and because your partner wants to go in a different direction that you know is not right, they decide to punish you. And there were some other industry things that were going on. But the main point of this is be careful who you involve yourself with. It doesn't just affect you. It affects your children, other people connected to you. People have got to be careful out here. And again, don't dabble in dark forces and don't involve yourself with people who do. Anyways, y'all let me know. Y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.